Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. So if you want to go ahead, Jack, and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
My name is Jack Joseph. I'm from Komunity Kombucha. I'm the president and founder over here. Currently live in Chicago, Illinois. Grew up in the northwest suburbs in a small town named Buffalo Grove.
Awesome. So can you tell us more about Komunity Kombucha and really what it's all about and what gave you the idea to start this company?
Yeah, so, Komunity Kombucha really was grown out of my frustration for the lack of non-alcoholic beverage options in social settings. Even just as a consumer, I started to become really conscious of the nutrition label and constantly looking at the ingredients. And it was just really hard to find something that displayed the ingredient profile that I admired as a customer. So I saw a big gap in the market and I wanted to create something that filled that gap. And in addition to that, kombucha has been known as a health beverage only. The glass bottle, the SCOBY, and all that being promoted for the gut health. And I just wanted to reimagine kombucha as a social beverage. So, we're building a bridge between social and wellness. So I like to consider Komunity Kombucha a social wellness company.
Awesome. So when it comes to your company, where are you mostly selling the product? Is it online? Do you have a storefront? Like, what does that look like for you?
Sure. So I would say that it started primarily going door to door, doing coffee shops and stuff like that. In the beginning, I would just take any opportunity that we can. I remember one of my first customers, when I first started working on this, I was working at a tea and herb shop called Love That Spice in Highland Park. And she started selling our little glass bottles. So, it just kind of organically happened. And as I went around to places, again, I wasn't super specific or intentional necessarily. I just kind of wanted to get the product out there as much as possible. But as we continue to grow and, we're at the level that we are, I think it's really important to be focused. That's really been my mantra and my intention lately is to focus our energy on the people, on the businesses that find value in what we're doing. And for us to focus our attention on businesses that we find value in what they're doing. So the majority of our business started in food service, and then I would say a natural byproduct has been the grocery store. So you can now find all of our products in the Mariano stores throughout the state of Illinois. You can find us in all the Fresh Times in Illinois. You can find us in all the Woodmans in both Illinois and Wisconsin. We're servicing places in Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota. We also work with the airport in Charlotte. One of our, customers that I'm so grateful for, and I love them very much as well. I love all of our customers, but Beatrix, big shout out to Beatrix. We've been working with them for a long time now, and we help them kind of create their own kombucha that they can offer at all their restaurants. So, I think we have a pretty good split now between food service and retail. But in terms of direct to customer, we can find us popping around at different markets, farmers markets, and we have an online store, but it's never really been a big focus for us. But we want to continue to focus on that a little bit more because we think we're missing out on a big opportunity.
For sure. So when it comes to retail specifically, or even growing your business, how are you marketing? How do people get the word out? Because one thing if they see you in the store, but they might not 100% be aware of what your products are all about. So do you run ads, social media? Like what has been like your main focus?
So our main focus lately has been sponsoring as many events that are aligned with our values as possible. So we did a bunch of deep house yoga events with Alyssa Joe. She curates an amazing event. It's a yoga, ecstatic dance, and kind of silent disco party. It's super fun. So we also are, pretty heavily involved in the dance music community. We work with a company here called Rituals, and we'll go and sponsor some of their big parties twice a year, and give out product and let people know who we are. Any other yoga events, wellness events, other things that are aligned with us, like we worked with Free People with an event that they worked with Hoka. So opportunities come our way all the time, but it's really important again that we're focused on what is aligned with our brand mission and vision. So we've been really just getting out there and promoting our product as much as possible, because we know that once people taste it, they're going to be hooked on it and they're going to love it. So as long as we can get people to test the product and we can promote it, we think that we can continue to gain market share.
Sure. So you mention that direct to consumer is a big focus, but just in general, like what is the big goal? Because like, what is your current monthly revenue? Like what are you looking to scale to in the next year or so?
Sure. I've been asked this question before, and people ask about my revenue, and I don't really feel comfortable talking about it. It's not really an important. Of course, we have to stay in business, we have to generate revenue, but that's never the reason why I started this business. So I'm not really comfortable to
Sure.
disclose that. But what I could tell you, Dan, is that from 2022 to 2023, we were able to grow 5x. Thanks a lot to our sales guy Jeff Smith. He really put in a ton of work and helped grow our customer base while I was grinding, brewing the kombucha. And then, this year we're looking to 2x. But, as your revenue gets higher and higher, it's difficult to have that 5x number, right?
Right.
We haven't accepted any outside investment or anything like that. This company is completely bootstrapped by me. And we continue to fund it with the money and the profits that we make, and reinvest into the business, and invest it into really high quality people to grow it. So I would say that's my answer there.
Sure, yeah. So like in terms of growth, like, so I guess back to me like this direct to consumer. So are you looking to have this like, customer loyalty, subscriptions, like email, newsletters, like really how are you going to grow this channel? And I guess what is the challenge there?
Definitely. So I would say that there's a lot of value in that. And I think the key is really building a community and putting ourselves out there and building a connection with our audience on social media. I think that's something that we've been lacking. We've been putting too much emphasis on the product, but we're really coming up with a powerful marketing strategy to refocus that so that we could curate something that people can relate to, that people are connected to, so that people want to subscribe and purchase our product. Not because they only love the product, because they like who we are as people, authentic, genuine, caring, kind, funny, just a normal person, just kind of going after our dreams and bringing you along the journey. So, in terms of that direct to, customer strategy, we're still working on that, and we have a lot of subscribers on a monthly basis, but we just recently brought on Kiki, and she's been really taking over the marketing lately, and she's been responsible for all the amazing events we've been able to sponsor. And she's working on some strategies on how we can reach more people and build our direct to customer list, and grow that channel, because again we see a lot of value there. So kind of it's hard to completely answer that, because it's a focus that we want to be focused on, but it's not something that we are extremely good at yet. We have a lot of work to do in that sector.
Makes sense. So obviously now in 2023, there's a big movement of AI when it comes to business. So do you use AI currently like in the business? And like, if not, like what is, some of the use cases for AI going forward?
For me, AI isn't really something that we use in our business. For me, I'm a big fan of personal touch, and I think that people could experience that difference for themselves when they know that we have that personal touch both on our product, on our messaging, on our marketing, on our packaging. I think you lose that, and we want to exercise our creativity. We want to expand our creativity, and I think that there could be great uses for AI. But I think that if we're given all the right answers, then that's going to prevent us from diving deep into our, our consciousness and being able to expand and create on a very high level. So, as an organization, I think that one of our core values will always be personal touch.
In terms of personal touch, I guess like tying it into AI, but even, for designs or things like that, I guess even like from a marketing thing, I know that you're not working so much with it, but do you see maybe value or, it's like in that scope of work?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there could be value there. I mean, you can go on Chat GPT and, tell it to write you a business plan, and it'll write you a business plan. But and I also think that that could be a skill that you develop because you have to learn how to communicate with it, right? You have to like communicate with the software and get it to spit out what you want, which is really
Right.
interesting. So I think that there could be personal touch and creativity in that. But is it something that I've been focusing a lot of energy on lately? Not really. But I do think that there is value there. I just think that we really have to be careful with it and learn how to use it responsibly.
Awesome. So what would you say is the biggest challenge you're facing now overall in the business?
Right now, or
Yeah,
just
yeah, just right now. Yeah.
growth, meaning trying to keep up with the growth. Never in a million years did I think that I would be in the position that we're in. It's a really beautiful opportunity, and I'm so grateful that I get to share it with amazing people. And I'm so grateful that the problem is, oh no, like, are we going to have enough product? So, but that is something that we're working on to figure out, based on our goals, how can we make sure that our manufacturing needs are met? So that's been a big challenging for me is like manufacturing, planning and control and just operationally, it's been a big challenge. And an ongoing challenge too is just finding high quality people, which we have such a small but amazing, mighty team. And again, we would not be where we are without them. So I'd say that's another challenge too, is continuing to build that team with high quality people and making sure that the people that you bring in are here to make a difference and grow the brand.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when it comes to manufacturing, what does that look like for you? Are you looking at maybe, doing it like in a new facility or scaling up like in your current facility? Like what is kind of like the vision there in terms of making more products?
Sure. So, I mean, for us, we've been working with contract manufacturers. That seems to be our best opportunity to scale the quickest is to outsource our manufacturing. But I think in the long term, we would like to be able to manufacture ourselves because you have a lot more control over the quality, the consistency, innovation. Innovation is such a important thing in this industry because products are changing all the time, especially right now with the non-alcoholic beverage boom, So I think that's a really big challenge too, is like how do we innovate and upgrade our products? But that's been what we've been doing lately is outsourcing our manufacturing, and that's been able to help us grow.
So like are you looking to bring it back in-house or are you just, going to look for more outsourced manufacturers, I guess, like as you, move forward now in like the next like, year or so?
We'll see. We'll see because again, it really depends who's out there and who can create a high quality product. I think ultimately I would like to have our own manufacturing facility, or kombucha brewery, whatever you'd like to call it. We're going to expand into other products. So that's why I don't like to say like kombucha brewery because I would like to do other things. But again, I think that for us, if we want to go to where we want to go, that we're going to need to make our own product. Because you look at all the big boys and girls, that's what they do. The Coca-Cola, the Pepsis, the GT Daves, they make all the health, they make their product. And that's because a lot more control, a lot more consistency. In addition to that, you can innovate, you can make new flavors all the time, and it's probably going to be your most cost effective because outsourcing production can be very expensive.
So when it comes to adding new products, you mentioned that you're kind of looking into that right now. So like what would that be for you? Would it be more of that non-alcoholic beverage category or even maybe more of like food products that are sort of in the health space? Like what are you sort of looking at, now like in the near future?
I don't want to speak too soon or give out any of my ideas at the moment, but what I could tell you is that everything that we make is meant to bring balance in a simple and effective way to your life. I just want to backpedal a little bit because, we started this company again to make more non-alcoholic beverages accessible in social settings. Okay. But the reason why we did that is because I was looking for something that could provide me balance in my life. This doesn't mean that I don't drink alcohol ever, like sometimes an occasion, if it's a very celebratory time or moment, I will be happy to indulge with my loved ones and my friends. But it's something that can bring balance into your life. If you drink at night and wake up the next day and have a kombucha, it's going to make you feel better. So everything that we make is going to provide that balance in your life that we need, because I think life is all about balance. And without it, then we become sick. So I think that it's okay to indulge in the things that you love, but like, what's one small little thing that we can do that can make a big impact over time? And I think drinking a can of kombucha is very simple. It's very delicious. It's enjoyable, and it's something that brings balance into your life. So it's not just for sober people, right? It's like for anyone.
Makes sense. So what you say is your top business priority now, though, that we've entered Q4 of 2023?
For me, it's really just honing in on, making sure we hit our goal. That we've had this goal ahead of us, ever since we started, and we're really closing in on it. So right now it's like, how can we get there? How can we exceed it? Right? Because once we get there, we're not set. It's like, okay, now what can we do past that, right? So that's number one. Number two is prospects. Who are going to be our prospects coming up? Because we know we got a lot of beverage reviews coming up at the end of the year, early in 2024. Who are our prospects? Who are we targeting? Who are we looking to get into? How do we want to grow both in the Midwest and nationally? Okay. And also distribution relationships. Who can we utilize to grow this sector of our business? So based on the people, our prospects we want to target, who can we use from a distribution standpoint to get it there? And then I would say lastly is cost. How can we drive down our costs? That's an ongoing project. It'll never end. It's always a very fun game to play, but I would say that those are the main objectives and priorities as we close out 2023.
Makes sense. So what would you say is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this company?
Focus, because there is so much noise, all the stuff that you see on social media, there's false perception. And I always think, where would I be if none of that existed? I think that the technology helps too, and it advanced where I'm at. But what if I just had my blinders up the whole time and didn't pay attention to anybody else or what they were doing and just focused on what I did? So I would say that is the most important thing from a startup perspective, is figure out what you want to do. If it's creating a product, make that product as best as you can, get that market validity, make sure people like it. And then you focus on your product, selling your product, getting it out there, building your team. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Healthy competition can come later, but you need to focus on what you're doing, get your product on the ground. Okay. And then once it's time to figure out the competition piece, who's out there, how can we be better than them? Okay, I get it. I understand. But in the beginning, stay focused on what you're doing. This stuff doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, definitely. So if we're going to chat again in 1 year from now, where do you expect things to go for the business?
That's a great question. I would say that 1 year from now, I would like our products to be sold nationwide. Maybe not all 50 states, but all around the United States. I would like to have I would like to bring on probably 2 to 3 more people that can help us. I would like to have probably 3 to 5 big more customers for us. And in addition to that, a new product line. So I would say,
are you targeting like Whole Foods or places like that?
For sure. I mean, we're working really hard to get into Whole Foods. It's just really interesting. Sometimes it doesn't pan out. Sometimes the timing's not right. Sometimes there's spacing issues in the store. So you just kind of got to wait your turn. We know our product belongs there. We know it'll be there. It's already there in another reality. But we just kind of have to wait our turn and be patient and wait for that opportunity to come through as we continue to push forward for it.
Awesome. Well, we're rooting for you. So, somebody watching this wanted to reach out. Do you mind sharing your website or social media handle? Just best way for somebody to get in contact with you.
Sure. I'd say the best way to get in touch with us would be on Instagram. Our Instagram is Community Kombucha, spelled with a K and one N, KOMUNITY Kombucha. Again, that's Community Kombucha on Instagram. You can shoot us a DM and we can get in touch there.
Well, Jack, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, thanks again. And we're definitely rooting for you guys.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.